And we just upgraded our ESC. Problem is, it comes with these long wires. The motor comes with these long wires. The servo comes with these long wires. The fans I got come with these long wires. And then those come with these long wires. And I'm like, dude, there's no room. But there is room, but it's just a big ball of spaghetti. So I've decided I'm going to do some serious wire management here because I'm super OCD. And I love having a nice clean setup. So I've already taken most of this apart. I got this cool double fan mount for the 390 motor, Surpass Hobbies. But because I have a 10-tooth pinion, I had to file down one side because it's too close to the drive shaft. So that came with these two fans right here. I just have them rubber banded together so I don't lose them. Keep them oriented. But so that's 4 wires coming off of 2 fans. They go to 2 of these Futaba connectors. And I have a Y harness. And I'm like, dude, this is just too much. So we're gonna have to figure out some solutions, guys. And I thought about some things. I went over this. How I can bundle up some wires and use some shrink wrap. To just clean it up. So I got some good ideas. I thought I'd just stick this down. Make something good out of it. So this is going to go right here. And this is going to go right here. So I literally need the wires to be like maybe 3 inches long. I don't need them any longer than that. Just so I can have access to that. And it's not a big deal for me just to solder this and unsolder that. So that's what we're going to do. That makes sense? All right, let's get this out of the way. Move this there. How's that working? So I've been warming up my soldering iron. And we're just going to remove these wires. First, I should probably get something to hold that. Here, let's see what I got lying around here. How's everyone doing? There we go. There we go. So I ordered some magic hands, but they never came in. So magic fingers or whatever. One down. Oh, got the other one. Okay. We're good there. So these are just super skinny wires, and they're just extra long for no reason. These motors were for a tank. So I don't know if the tank needed it or whatever. But so this comes with ferric beads on there. I just want enough room to tuck them underneath like that. You can move them around, reposition them and whatever. That's not a big deal, but so it'll be something like that. I don't know how well that's coming in. And we can just trim these off. And they don't need to be the same length, because the motor's oriented one on top, one on bottom. So that'll be fine. And I don't care which one's which, because the remote has the reverse switch for the steering, or for the throttle. So that's easy. What's up, Javier? Welcome. And Dylan Mack. I am building Gromzilla. This is a granite Grom that I've heavily modified into a rock crawler. If you check out my channel, you can go see what I do, man. I go hardcore on the river. Thing's fully waterproof, amphibious. I love it. But it was getting hot. It was running real hot, so I was getting some thermal shutoffs and stuff. I didn't like that, so I got a stronger ESC, and I got like a dual fan mount for the motor. I don't know if you can see that. I had to customize to fit. But it's pretty, I go backwards, by the way. These are old, man. I've been using these wire cutters probably 25 years. Yeah. They were just cheap back then. So this is where it gets tricky, man. I'm wondering if my this is set as high as it'll go. So, and it's hot. Ow. Okay. I need to either just solder those bad boys on there like that, or tin the wires. I should try to tin them. If this gets hot enough, that'd be awesome. What do you think, guys? Have you ever soldered? I'm in California, so we don't get that awesome flux stuff. This is when having magic fingers or something comes in handy here. Just to hold it still. I don't want to do this. Have any clamps laying around? Oh, all my little clamps are on my desk. That's all right. That's what these are for. I'm not putting much pressure on there at all. I just need something to hold it. Okay. So the first step is you come underneath it because heat rises. It's not hot enough. Maybe I should use skinnier stuff. What do you guys think? Well, whatever. It went in there. Dang it. There we go. Oh no. I'm getting fraying the edges there. I don't want that. There we go. Get them down. Whatever, that works. Learn as you go, man. And if I want to go back over this, man, it's cool. I gave myself enough wire here. I can just trim them off and do it all over again. But I need it like that. Yeah, who needs magic fingers when you have vice grips? Something like this. There we go. Oops, dang it. There we go. You do it till it soaks into the wires. But then you gotta hold it there till it cools off. Look at those nasty blobs. I know I need flux, but I'm in California. Can't just go to Home Depot and buy flux. It's supposed to be inside there. If you look, it's hollow. You see there's supposed to be flux inside there. I mean, they're on there tight, man. And I don't have any loose ends, so that's what matters. Okay. So, we just took care. We oriented it correctly. It's going to clean up a lot of that wire. If you saw it before, man, I had those wires going into these wires, and then I had to freaking loop it up a million times, and it was just a bunch of chaos. So now that'll definitely clean up the aesthetics and the signal. Look at that. That's so much better. Okay. Next on the list are these bad boys. I got an on-off switch. What are we gonna do with that? I got an idea, guys. Okay. How are you gonna do this? Let me unplug my soldering iron. Oops. I just flickered the light. That's not good. Check this secret out. Yeah. So, I got an idea here. Who's watching? You got here just in time. Anybody working with one of these? I have an idea here. I don't have any lights or auxiliary stuff on Gromzilla, so I'm not going to need these. And I certainly don't want them just dangling around. So I was like, wow, look at all this room. You got your antenna. You got two auxiliaries right here, just loose. And you got this long on-off switch here. So I got two options. I can either retain the on-off switch and try to do something with this wire, or I can just cut the on-off switch and join them together so it's just permanently on all the time. I got another idea too. I was thinking maybe I could just run some shrink wrap and then just tuck it in the box like that. You think that'll work? What's up, Jimbo? Thanks for joining. Woo. Same thing with these. I was thinking about just wrapping them up in shrink wrap and then tucking them away in here and saving them for later. You think that'll work? Look, see? If I could just shrink wrap these up and hide them in the box like this, and then I could put the cover back on. There we go. I gotta, of course, it'll be easier with shrink wrap. I gotta get the antenna wire through that tiny hole. Blind. Let me see. Come on. You got this, Rugghead. Let me see here. There we go. There we go. See, it's coming through. Oh. That's it. See, what do you think about that? I got rid of all that crap. Of course, this isn't permanent like this. I can always undo it. And then just put the switch like that, and it got rid of all those wires. Who saw that? Now, there is a chance those wires can have some interference in there because they're so close to the receiver, and it might have the potential to build up some heat, having all that extra crap just sitting on the motherboard like that. But all in all, this looks great. You can see how this is all covered in acrylic or whatever that is. Epoxy. Whatever that is. It's hard. But that's the waterproofing. That's that waterproof rating they give you. Anyway, so I like that idea. Let's start getting these kind of wrapped up in some heat shrink so we can tuck them away and keep them protected. Let's see, I got a whole bag of stuff. Where'd it go? I just got a ton of shrink wrap. I don't even know what to do with all of it. It's pretty good stuff. It's Harbor Freight crap and just the stuff I've kind of been collecting forever. Let's see. I got some skinny wrap. This looks like one size thicker. We'll try that. Let me get out my heat gun. Where'd the heat gun go? Oh. Whew! Heat gun. Yeah, I'm usually not out in the garage, guys. I'm usually working at my desk. But when I start using solder and heat guns and stuff like that, I do it out here in the garage next to my fire extinguisher. Oh, there goes the light flickering again. I think this surge protector is about had it. What do you guys think? Turn that off. Jeez. Okay. So I'm thinking this size is perfect for this, as long as I can squeeze this inside. Let's see. Get my scissors. Bro, look at these scissors. These are old school. Got these at a yard sale. Wiss Made USA, $12.25. Anyway, they don't make them like they used to. That seems about like the right size. See you, Jimbo. Thanks for joining, Boro. I'm gonna have the I gotta take a picture of that, man. That looks awesome. Let's take a picture of what's going on here for the reels. Here we go. Ready? You didn't know you were gonna see how people make YouTube reels right real quick. Let's just take a second. I just want to get something in here. There we go. Move it like that. There we go. Check this out. I got the desk dolly. Woo. Go like that. Okay, so we'll rumble across. This desk isn't as tidy as I'd like it, but it is what it is. Oop. Where'd it go? I zoomed in and I shouldn't have. Okay. I don't want to get too carried away here. They call that a distraction. But I needed to get a before and after because I have a feeling it's going to be pretty drastic here. I got to document the journey. Here we go. People ain't always going to want to watch it, 2-hour live. So we're going to try to roll that up. And then maybe slip this over it like that. That's what I was hoping. Look at that. Perfect, guys. What the heck? Rugghead's a genius. Okay. That looks about right. Okay, so I misjudged the length. Be careful though. Boop. There you go. Okay. One down. And then this will hopefully lay down like that, man. I'll be able to lay these guys down in here. Just totally out of the way and protected. Hopefully. You never know until you try, so we're going to try. You're going to try with me. There we go. Man, I'm telling you what, this is a great hobby, guys. I sit here and think about, man, they should have made it like this, or they could have made it like that. All right, so far so good. We got 2 of them down. And then this guy, I'll need something like, I'll be on this side probably. We'll go in quarters here. So we'll just get that skinny stuff. Where's the skinny stuff? Is this the skinny stuff? Skinnier? That might work. Okay, one old trick I learned with my Jeep is you can put like wax or a drop of silicone or whatever in here. And it'll actually squeeze all the air out so it doesn't get room for water to sit. Okay. All right, look at that. And then we'll shrink these down and try to tuck them away in here. That'll be a huge win. But first, since we are going to be using a heat gun on the electronics, and all this stuff is waterproofed, I don't exactly want the heat gun to affect any of that stuff. So I got some reflective tape here just to so I don't damage anything here. How's that working? So now we're protecting the electronics. And we got 3 heat shrink wraps. And a heat gun. All right, let's go. All right. That looks about right. I don't think it's going to shrink much more than that. So we got a little bit of excess there on the ends, which is perfect. Let it cool off for a second. I can start thinking about this damn thing because I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fold it back and forth. Kind of like that. And hopefully clean up that with some shrink wrap. That makes sense? Alright, we'll see. So, grand finale. Careful. Put that over there. Let me see if I got some toenail clippers in the toolbox. That would be awesome. I had an old rusty set of toenail clippers. That'd be perfect for this. But I don't see them anyway. I do have toenail clippers in my desk, but okay. Okay. Not much there. Oh, there we go. Glad I checked. Okay. All right. Wires are still safe. Let's shoot it one more time. Hey, that's about all you're gonna get, boy. So, stage 2. Make them disappear. Something like... Will that work? Let's see. I guess as long as it stays under the lid and doesn't interfere that bind button. I don't even care about the bind button, honestly. Maybe the airflow. Oh. Alright, I might have to relocate one of these a little further this way. It'll fit like that. I just have one dongling out. It looks like I'm short just by like a millimeter on that. Let's try to switch these out. You hear my kids playing in the background? Let's try this way. That looks like that'll fit. All right. The things we go through to solve our OCD stuff. There we go. Got the antenna wire. See that? All right, now I gotta make sure all that stuff goes and it's not pinching anywhere. Woo! And I gotta be careful not to snap any of those stupid little tabs. Because then I'll have to super glue this thing or something. I don't even know what I would do if I snapped one of those tabs. They're so small. Careful. Yes! Bro! What? Dude. super clean. Look at that setup right there. Didn't have to cut any of those wires. I just made them vanish. Look at that. Look at that setup. Woo! All right, man. Look at that, guys. It's gonna go like this. Ta-da. All right. Okay. Dude, that is so much better than it was. Okay, but we still have to do the fans. I'm still gonna have to manage those wires as well, because it's endless spaghetti. It just keeps going. So we're gonna figure something out with that too. Either cut those. I guess we could just cut those. Or should I leave them real super long and just wind them up and do the... Well, let's take care of this servo first. Because these servo wires are annoying me too. So I think we're going to do the same thing. I only need about 2 inches of servo wire. I do not need this spaghetti thing. So I think that if I plan accordingly, I could get away with tucking it down right there. Gotta make sure I have enough to plug in. Go like that. Yeah, that works. That's great. Okay, so there we go. Same thing here. Hopefully I can get to squeeze in this one. Yes. Look at that. Ta-da. All right, I can trim that off. Okay. Look at these bad boys. I just now realized diamond alloy made in the USA. I never heard of these before, but man, I just picked them up and I was like, those are old. I wonder where I got these from. I got a little initials in there. Maybe I got this at a yard sale or something. Who cares? All right, let's go. Okay, so now I got this going on. My idea is it's going to tuck right along the motor right there. And we'll still have enough room. Boop, like that. Excellent. Let's do it. Okay. Ow. Getting hot. Make sure all the wires are perfect and squared up there. I don't want any twists. Okay, that's still good. Let's go. Back in my Jeep days, I would just do this with a damn lighter. And I'm kind of glad I didn't have any like grease fires or anything. I was much younger and in a hurry. That looks like that's good right there. Look at that. Practically disappears. Now this is my old fan mount. So this is a Mojave chassis. It comes with a really cheap fan right here. But we got rid of that. So I'm going to cut that out right there so that the wires can go straight flush against the bottom. So let me get that. That's just easy. 2 cuts right here. Look away. No eye protection. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now we got a nice clean route for the wires to go through with nothing gonna mess those up. Check that out. We're getting places, boys. Look at this. I wonder. The only problem is this switch is getting in the way of that, which is a bummer. So I might have to. That's not critical though. I might just move it back a little bit. Keep it out of the way. I don't know. We'll get there when we get there. How about that? I'm just going to Velcro it in there anyway, so it'll be somewhat adjustable. But you can see with the 10-tooth pinion, there's no clearance between the drive shaft cover. It's like resting right up against that. This is the smallest pinion you can go probably. But I wanted to use this heat sink with the dual fan mounts. And I had to file off that side to get it to fit. And I had to taper off. You see I machined out this little chunk right here. Kind of routed that out. I get just enough room. Like literally. Just enough room for it to fit like that. And then you can see what's going on here. I got these ferric beads that'll fit right there on the wires. And it'll go like that. Boom. Oops. So that's literally as clean as you can get. Behold, Gromzilla, the ultimate Grom. Next on the agenda here are these fan wires. I have 2 options with these. I can either go like they were meant to, and use the Y harness here. And plug this into an auxiliary. However, I do have dual auxiliary ports. So I was thinking of just directly connecting them into the auxiliary ports. But I wanted to wait until we got this far. So I can hook up a battery here and see if it still works. Let me get a battery. Alright, let's see if it works. I don't know which way the orientation of the battery is going to go now. I might want to switch it around this way. Yeah, we might do something magical here. Let's see. Let me get my remote. Alright, here's the big bad DX3. I guess it comes with the axial ones. Let me turn this boy on. I don't even know how... Oh, that power button's on the back. This is a nice remote, though. I mean, it's pretty hefty for out of the box, ready to run. You got all kinds of... You got telemetry with the battery level, brake rate, throttle trim. It's a lot fancier than I'm used to. Okay, let's try this. Seems to work. Oh, I don't have the drive shaft in there all the way, so I shouldn't be doing that. Okay, but it works. And we're wired up correctly, so that's good. Let's turn this off. Okay, so far so good. Probably should strap this baby in there next time before I hit the light it up. Okay. So now we're going to try to orient the fans, and we might utilize this on the same harness right here. We might harness all these together. If I can make it work. Look at that. It's kind of like interior decorating. You're like, where does the furniture go so it all fits? Gosh, look at that. So, I'm guessing that this is approximating the point of no returns here. This is as clean as it'll get without cutting any more wires. Or should I just leave these separate here? I am liking that, though. I think that's a great... So the other little tricky thing are these beads here. These are ferric ceramic beads, and they keep like the pulse waves from interfering in the reception, allegedly. So I can slip these on, and I think if I do it right, they'll actually double as a support. See? And I'll mount this directly onto the servo and the beads. But I gotta do it right. And how does one do it right? That's the question. I think I nailed this on the head though. So let's try it like that. Let me open these guys up. Get my super skinny screwdriver again. And these little tiny plastic clips, you can just barely see them. And then be careful because there's these little tiny, kind of like glass. They look like magnets, but they're not. They're like shielding. And I guess what it does is it like absorbs the magnetic pulses. If that makes sense. It absorbs the magnetic pulses. So these will go right about here. Like that, I'm guessing. There we go. That would, anyway, they absorb the magnetic pulses that would interfere, that would otherwise interfere with the reception. I guess they would make little tiny fluctuations in the wavelengths that would kind of freak out. But look at that. It just all disappears, guys. Awesome. So I'm going to have to figure something out with this. I might have to relocate the switch to the middle. Or just delete the switch altogether. I don't like how it bumps into the steering doobob. I should have had this zoomed in the whole time. Here we go. There we go. Like how that's cleaned up. And then these, I got an idea with that. Some fatty. Will they fit in here? They might. Dude, if I could get these to fit in here, that would be great. Almost. All right. Let's use a piece of this stuff. So, once again, I am just solidifying these so they're not bouncing around. And then it gives it, the ESC, a firm, there we go. Just like that. Gives the ESC something firm to sit on rather than just hanging off the servo like that. So, and again, I'm going to use my heat shield here. Probably take the battery out. Huh, don't want to do that. You got another piece of that foil tape. There we go. Don't want to melt anything here. Okay. Alright. It doesn't need to be like super awesomely perfect because you're never going to see that. Oof. It's hot though. I'm glad I used the tape. Whoa! Boys, don't try this at home. Okay. And now we can smush it how we want it. Should I try to heat that up one more time? No, we're good. Which is like this. Boom! And this will go right there. Look at that. Right now we're just making it disappear. It's just disappearing. Right before your eyes. This fan is what I'm really tripping on. So I wanted it. I think I want the wires oriented on the inside. You hear that? That was awesome. So let's tie these down. Got some fan screws and whatnot. There we go. These are these cool carbon fiber fan guards. Looks like my street's real popular right now. Someone's having a party. I do have a driver. Here we go. Okay. These are like 1mm hex for the fan here. These are 25mm fans. Which fit real nicely on a 380 motor when you're doing double like that. Oh no. Man, just all my neighbors are coming home right now at the same time. Kids are out of school. this week, so I ain't doing nothing. Been working at my desk. But I ain't going nowhere. I don't have to. Where'd that come out of? Oh, that's my steering pin. Like somewhere I have a extra fan screw. Whatever. I'll just borrow it from this. Oh, I know where it is. My jar of random screws over here. I picked it up. There we go. So far, so good. That's what we're looking at, boys, right now. Sorry if there's any girls in the chat. So I'm guessing this is like this. Be careful with these crappy Futaba tabs. Okay. Now is when we test. We're gonna see which one of these work. There we go. Turn it on. Steering work? We're good. Okay. Let's see if these fans work. See these fans work. Woo. They're sucking or blowing. See if we can twist it around. I would like these fans to be sucker fans, not blower fans. But they're blower fans. Okay. Whatever. Got one of them. Got two of them. Woo! She lives, boys. Okay. So, this goes here, that goes there. Do something like that. Something like that. Yep. Guys, that's pretty badass, guys. I don't care what y'all say. What do you guys think? Dual fans on a Grom on a waterproof Grom. We're gonna have telemetry. So that's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it just like this. That seems to work, guys. And I can squeeze this heat shrink down. There we go. And I have like a whole, I have a couple feet of this stuff, so I don't mind redoing it. Here we go. Super cool, guys. There we go. I think I can push it on this way. Just a little bit more. And it'll line up with the fan shrouds. What do you guys think? Ah. There we go. Look at that. Okay. All right, same story. Protect the components. With thermal tape. So, like that. And now, oh, I like that. It's like Star Wars. That's because I lost signal. You go off? Turn off. Oh, there we go. Okay, where were we? Let's do this, guys. Ta-da! Well, I'll tell you what, man, that's a whole lot easier than soldering stuff. And I'm glad I used this because this was hot. There we go! Look at that! What? Dude, guys, that's it right there. We did it. Okay. So now, I think we're done, guys. I just have to Velcro this guy down. Let's do that real quick. Put some Velcro right here and just go boop. That's all you gotta do. Boop. This piece is still bothering me though. Maybe I can like tuck it like that or something. I don't know. Just leave it loose for now. Hopefully it'll be enough room with that added Velcro. Let's see. Velcro. Ta-da. Let's see. So I think I should put the male side, the sticky side, on this side. Here's a perfect piece. Ta-da. Now I'm second guessing myself. There we go. We'll go just like that. Boop. It doesn't need to be perfect, guys, because you're not going to see this part. And the most important thing is that I have easy access to remove the steering servo if and when I drown it out. There we go. Look at that. Ta-da. Now we're going to get, I need the soft and fluffy side. That's what she said. Soft and fluffy coming up. And I'm just going to cut this whole thing off right here. Oops. Let me take a trim of hair off. There we go. Ta-da. Okay. That gives us options. There we go. Ta-da. I just take for granted everything's going to fit perfectly. And then go for it. Knowing that it's already going to work the way I want it to. Anybody else like that? Look at that. Okay, now we got a Velcro down ESC. This wire can tuck away into there. And this wire we can tuck away into there. Look at this, boys. Dude. I should put the here we go. Let's finish this guy up. I think I did all the wiring parts. It looks pretty clean to me. What do you guys think? See, this is gonna go. There we go. I think we're in. Okay. Got old Lucky. Let's go. Here we go. Now we start with the longest screw. Is this one right here. This one's the most dependent. Okay. So my first two are always the motor mount screws. And make sure that seals up, because you don't want to be wasting your time on all the other ones if the motor mount screws don't work. And then I always put the longest screws around the main bearing. These ones are also dependent on the steering, so they should be long. So anyways, part of waterproofing your car is using stuff like this. I use like a little shot glass, and I use just a little bit of, where's the camera? I use a little bit of motor oil on the screws. And I just let them soak in the motor oil, man, because I know that this sucker's going to go right in the river. And the river's going to wash away all the motor oil. And if you don't have enough moisture displacement, you're going to end up with rust. And look at these screws. These are great. They look brand new. If any of you've been following my channel, you know this sucker goes in the water pretty regularly. So here we are. Now we're left. We can just tuck this underneath and behind the ESC like that. And it just disappears, gentlemen. Look at that. I don't know. Can you get a cleaner Grom? Can you get a cleaner configuration than a Grom? Let me know in the chats. Is there a cleaner setup than these 2-in-1 ESCs? Man, I'm loving that though. That looks sick. Look at that. Check that out. No more spaghetti. Who was here in the beginning? You guys see what it looked like when I started this? So I'm thinking this needs to go. This is my original idea, but not if it's in the way. Oh, it might work like that, guys. Looks like there's enough clearance. Cool. Woohoo. All right. Look at that, guys. That's a serious rig. All right, let's test it out, man. Okay. I know on the Mojaves, they put like a block right here, foam block. So let me see if I got something. I found this foam right here, so we're just gonna guess I should put it in the back. It looks like, what, 1.25 inches by 1 inch? Ta-da. They're too big? All right, it's working, guys. Let's tie that down. I'm so excited. Look at that. Smart. Let me see. Maybe it'll work this way. Like that. Oh, hey. Okay, maybe we'll go that way. So it's kind of a paradox when you're building an amphibious vehicle like this, because you actually, when you're rock climbing, you want all the weight in the front to keep yourself from, tipping backwards, and to keep your your front wheels down and everything. But when you're floating, you want the front end to be light so that you can, propel yourself like a boat. But if I can get this, you got the 3rd wire system here. If I can get this wire retention device to do what it was designed to do, I don't like these things. I cut them off like 95% of the time, but when they work, they come in handy. There we go. How's that look? That'll look like a professional. How's that look? Let's see if it works. Who cares what it looks like, right? I'm just... So maybe that's the way. And then we'll go like that. Yeah, I think that's good. Probably good. Should I use like a Velcro or something? Maybe go around the heatsink. Look at that. Maybe I'm just getting too OCD on it. We'll go this way. That was my original configuration. I don't know. I never got this far, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me here. We learned together. Oh, that works. Look at that. How's that look? That's secure as it's gonna get, I think. Who is that? Did you hear that? Okay, so I think maybe what I'm gonna do is whatever. That looks great, honestly. I'm happy with that. I was hoping we could do the Raz Schifrin secret here, and maybe we will. Put the little Velcro strip on there. Let's do it. I got one right here. Boop. Just like that. Boop. Like that. Oh no, I wish it was just a bit shorter. Like, I don't know why they make all these wires so long all the time. It never made any sense to me. But that's it. Check it out, guys. Let's see if we get it running. Nice. Oh yeah. We're good. Let's try it. Oh! How's that? Ultra slow. I can feel it. Oh, there we go. Let me zoom out. There we go. Well, it's a lot faster. Let's put the body on it. Oh yeah. The other thing I wanted to do is I'm trying out these Mojave bumpers because they're lighter, but there's such a huge gap here. I was gonna melt them and bend them down a little bit, but she's working, guys. Check it out. Uh-oh. A lot more powerful. Okay, temperature test. Perfect. Well, she's working, guys. Thanks for joining. If you made it this far, check out my channel, guys. See you on next time. Rugghead RC. Peace.